You probably think you know how everyday things work, right? But what if I told you they're hiding some pretty clever secrets? That credit card in your wallet? It's not just for shopping. Believe it or not, it can help you out in the kitchen too. And that pizza box on your table? It's way more useful than you think. Even those elevator buttons you press, they might not do what you assume. Stick around because the truth behind these everyday items is going to surprise you. Let's start with something small. The hole in a pen cap. Looks like a random design choice, but it's actually a safety feature. If someone accidentally swallows it, that hole allows air to pass through, reducing the risk of choking. Many countries made this design a rule to help prevent accidents like that. Blue jeans aren't naturally blue. They get their color from indigo dye, usually synthetic these days. The dye doesn't fully stick, which is why jeans fade and get that cool, worn-in look. Now let's talk about keyboards, especially the quirky layout. You might think it was made to help you type faster, but it was actually made to slow people down. Back in the day, old typewriters would jam if you typed too quickly. Even though there are faster keyboard layouts today, most people still use QWERTY. It just shows how hard it is to change old habits. What about pom-poms? Cute, right? But they weren't made just for style. Sailors used to wear hats with pom-poms to protect their heads from bumping into low ceilings on ships. Turns out that fluffy ball was like a mini helmet. Fashion meets function. Airplane window holes might freak you out, but don't worry. They're there for a reason. That tiny hole helps balance air pressure between the inside and outside window panes. It stops the window from cracking mid-flight. So yep, that little dot is a lifesaver. See a tiny hole in your padlock? It's there to drain water and stop rust. It's also where you can add oil to keep the lock working smoothly. Staplers have a secret too. 2 ways to fold the staples. The inward fold is for when you want pages to stay together forever. The outward fold? That one's great for temporary binding. Like when you want to take the papers apart later. Who knew? Ever notice the crinkling sound of a plastic bottle? That's actually a smart design. Bottles are made to flex with pressure changes so they don't crack. It also helps keep things fresh and makes them lighter to carry. Those red margins in notebooks? They're not just for neatness. Back in the day, rats would nibble the edges of paper, so the margins were there to protect the important stuff from becoming rat snacks. Not pretty, but smart. Gas pumps stop themselves from overflowing thanks to a little vent tube. When gas blocks the airflow in that tube, it changes the pressure and click. The pump shuts off. No spills, no mess. That tiny pocket in your jeans? It used to hold a pocket watch in the 1800s. No watches there now, but the pocket stuck around, and now holds coins, keys, or random bits of lint. Ever wonder why you can see your food through a microwave door, but nothing dangerous comes out? That metal mesh is actually a Faraday cage. It keeps harmful microwaves in, but still lets you watch your pizza spin in style. Most people use the drawer under the oven to store pans, but it's actually meant to keep food warm. That heat coming from above? Perfect for your second dish. The coils behind your fridge aren't just decoration. They release heat, helping your fridge stay cool inside. Clean them once in a while, and your fridge will run better and last longer. Notice how mirror edges have a greenish tint? That's from the iron in the glass. Mirrors look perfect, but they're still made of regular old glass. Science. Back to the kitchen. Forgot your cheese grater? Grab your credit card. The raised numbers can grate cheese in a pinch. And that card edge? Great for slicing cake. Dessert emergency solved. Wine bottles have that dent at the bottom called a punt. It makes the bottle stronger, helps with pouring, and controls pressure, especially in fizzy wine. The metal tab on a measuring tape has a hole for a reason. Hook it on a nail or screw for hands-free measuring. Makes DIY way easier. The springs at the ends of phone chargers? They're there to stop bending and fraying. Sadly, many people ignore that, and that's why cables break so often. So be gentle. Binder clips. The arms can fold back so you can stack papers neatly. A small trick that makes a big difference on a messy desk. Seen that little triangle on sweatshirts? Back in the day, it helped absorb sweat and made the collar stretch better. Today, it's just a stylish throwback. Ever wonder what makes pink erasers so rough? They contain pumice, a volcanic rock. It erases pencil marks well, But rub too hard, and it can rip the paper. Use with care. Sticky notes stick without ruining surfaces, thanks to a special weak glue. Funny thing, it was invented by accident. Someone was trying to make super glue and got this instead. That diamond-shaped patch on backpacks is called a lash tab. It was for tying ropes and gear back when people used backpacks for hiking. Now it's more about looks, but it still works if you need it. Shirt cuff buttons came from Napoleon. He didn't want soldiers wiping their noses on their sleeves, so he had buttons added. The trend stuck, and now it's part of men's fashion. See the extra lace holes on sneakers? They're for something called a heel lock. It keeps your foot from sliding and helps prevent blisters. Super useful for runners and athletes. Those thin plastic lines on your phone, they're antennas. Metal phones block signals, but those lines let your phone stay connected. Small lines, big job. Put a tennis ball in your dryer next time. It helps separate heavy stuff, so your blankets dry evenly and faster. Also kind of fun watching it bounce around. At some bus stops, there are raised maps in Braille to help visually impaired people find their way. A smart and thoughtful detail. The little arrow next to the fuel icon on your dashboard shows which side your gas tank is on. So simple, yet so helpful when you pull up to a pump. Flip the tab on your rear view mirror, and it goes into night mode. It dims the glare from headlights behind you. Makes night driving much easier on the eyes. Ever hit the closed door button in an elevator and nothing happens? That's because most of them don't work. Yep, they're just placebo buttons to make you feel in control. By the way, if you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on cool stuff like this. Grocery carts have little loops near the handle. They're not random. They're for hanging fragile items like eggs or bread so they don't get squashed. The colored blocks at the end of toothpaste tubes? They're not a secret code. They're for the machines in factories to know where to cut and seal. Your toothbrush might look clean, but if you leave it out uncovered, it can gather millions of germs in just a few days. So yeah, swap it out often. Ever notice the ridges on coins? They were added so people couldn't shave off little bits of metal from the edges. Sneaky old-school hackers. Folding cereal box flaps inward creates a better seal, keeps your cereal fresh, and avoids accidental spills. Easy fix for your breakfast. Some pizza boxes have terrible sections. You can turn them into plates. No need for dishes, just tear, eat, and toss. Those little brushes on escalators? Not for cleaning your shoes. They're there to keep people from standing too close to the edge. Smart safety design. Ever notice women's shirt buttons are on the left? That's because centuries ago, wealthy women had maids to dress them, and it was easier for right-handed maids to button them that way. Old habits again. The famous click of a typewriter? Total accident. But people loved the sound. It made writing feel official. That sound stuck as part of the charm. Pocket watch chains were added so people wouldn't lose their watches during bumpy horse rides. Smart move, especially when those watches cost a fortune. Salt shakers usually have fewer holes than pepper ones. Why? Because salt pours more easily, and too much can ruin your food. The plastic tips on umbrella spines, they stop injuries and keep the fabric from tearing. A small detail that keeps you dry and safe. Barcodes work by using black and white lines that reflect light differently. This simple idea totally changed how we shop and track stuff. And here's a fun surprise. Your backpack might have an emergency whistle built into the buckle. Go ahead, try blowing on it. Who knew? Most doorknobs are made of brass. That's not just for looks. Brass kills germs naturally. A great choice for something everyone touches. Finally, the recycling symbol with 3 arrows. Each one stands for a step: collection, manufacturing, and reuse. It's the whole life cycle in one logo. And that's it for today. Hit subscribe so you don't miss more awesome videos about the secrets hiding in your everyday life.